It's showtime live at PJ's. There you go, that's my theme tune. That's from a tune that I wrote 2005 maybe, something like that. It's a tune that I call May the 4th Be With You. I might finish today's monologue with the tune, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, how the devil are you? I hope you are all having a wonderful Easter Sunday. Happy Easter. Yes, it's here. Spring. Can you hear the wood pigeons? Got the window open, you can hear the bird song. It's beautiful. And Willow's in the hallway, meowing. Coffee number 2. So yeah, I did a kind of clickbaity thing on Facebook, because Facebook requires you to put a description in your video, and I had probably 30 seconds to get the post out in order to schedule it to start at 10, because I'd forgotten to schedule it, and StreamYard gives you only 15 minutes I think of advance warning, so I was like, what will I put? Here's what failure looks like. So that was the first thing that came into my head. Why am I thinking about failure? It's partly because I haven't got my routine back since the clock's changed. And it's also partly because human nature is such that we tend to focus on what we're not achieving rather than on what we have achieved. So that's an interesting topic, I think, for this morning. Human nature and focusing on the negative in the short term. In my experience, when it comes to the long term, for me personally anyway, I tend to focus on the positive. For example, I fell off a cliff when I was 17. Smashed up my leg, almost died. And now when I look back on that, I see it as a turning point, as a crossroads, which of course it was, because my whole life changed on that day. 18th of July, 1989, my life changed forever. And when I look back on that now, it's with a sense of what? Philosophy, fate. That's just one example of looking at the past, long-term past, and seeing the positive, but looking at the short-term past and seeing the negative, such as this week I did not get up at 7 AM and walk the dogs every morning as I was doing before the clocks changed, which meant that I was not, my routine was messed up, you know what I mean? Hey Matt, nice to see you. Happy Easter, my friend. Nice to see you. I'm glad you got your custom URL sorted out with YouTube. Always good to hear, and it's good to hear that it can be done, because I have not yet created a brand account for that very reason. Maybe I will now. So yeah, the short term, looking at negativity instead of the positive things that I've achieved this week. So I'm hoping that I can turn that around right here, right now, instead of feeling like it wasn't a great week because my routine was messed up. I mean, yesterday I didn't even build out my Notion daily tracker. So how can I keep track of my daily habits and routines if I'm not even creating the page? And I haven't done it today either. I've not been measuring my sugars. I have not measured my sugar today or last night. However, let's concentrate on the wins. About a week ago, or maybe longer, maybe 2 weeks ago, I was really concerned about my blood glucose levels. For those that don't know, I'm type 2 diabetic. and I was giving into sugar cravings in the evenings, and my overall levels were, will I say dangerously high? I don't know. I was up at like 12, 13 mmOLs, and it should be between 6 and 7. So it was not good. And I mentioned it in the WhatsApp group that we use, our accountability support WhatsApp group for content creation for YouTube. And I got some amazing responses there from people. And that gave me a boost. You know, it made me feel accountable in some ways. So I have been measuring up until the last couple of days, and my results are back into the green zone. So shall we do it now, live, right here and right now on on a live stream? This is my Acoustic. Is that going to focus? It's not going to focus because I need to put it in front of my face. Acoustic, there we go. Acoustic mobile. It's a cool little device. So here we go. Let's see how we're doing this morning. I think it's going to be okay. Let's see. Tiger Eyes is going to drag herself up and sort me out. I'm on it. Oh yeah. Don't know if you'll be able to read that. Focus for me. There we go. Yay! 5.8. Let me just write that down because I'm going to do my tracker as soon as I get off this call. So yeah, in a sense I'm winning there. That's good. I've got things under control. I'm eating salad now more. I was eating more fish, but I watched a documentary last week that kind of freaked me out and has got me thinking about not eating fish anymore. Never saw that coming. It's called Seaspiracies. It's on Netflix in the UK, if any of you are interested. It's not easy viewing. It's quite brutal, in fact. But it really did get me thinking about changing diet, and that's never really happened to me before from a documentary. So yeah, that's going okay. And where else do I feel like a failure? My guitar practice slipped again. I know I've been banging on about having to schedule live streams in order to get me to practice, and it was working. I did 3 weeks of 2 sessions a week, so 6 sessions, I might even have been 7, of learning a new complex fingerstyle piece by Will McNichol, and it was working really well. And then I missed one, and then I missed 2, and I think now I've missed 4 at least. So it's been 2 weeks. And somebody that has been following my journey did actually ask yesterday, how's it going with that tune? I said, well, I haven't been doing it. And he said, yeah, I noticed. Which is really nice because I didn't think anyone gave a shit. So it's really nice that somebody besides myself noticed that I've not been showing up. So at the end of March, we went into a new quarter, a new month, and a new week, all at the same time. So I tend to do a weekly review every week in my Notion tracker. Monthly reviews are quite new to me because I've not been doing it for very long. And quarterly reviews, I think it's my second one, but it's the first one I've taken seriously. And when it got to the end of the quarter, I was like, oh God, how am I going to fit this into my day? This seems like needless busy work. So I put a question out on Twitter. I was like, does anyone else feel like doing weekly/monthly reviews is mindless busy work? And I got a couple of responses that were like, no. So it kind of got me thinking that I'm doing it wrong. And so I did my monthly and my quarterly reviews. And trying to pull myself back on track, that's the purpose of doing these things, right? To get yourself accountable to yourself and to see the things that you're not achieving that you planned to achieve and all of that kind of stuff. So I did it, and I'm glad I did it, and I've set myself up hopefully for success, because that's the idea. So now I'm looking at going into Q2, sounding like a proper business person here, talking in quarters, with goals, and for business and for personal life, and that includes guitar. So I want my goal to be realistic, and I would like it to be that I can play that tune start to finish by the end of Q2. So that gives me 3 more months. I think my original goal of learning the tune in a month, was just not... Well, maybe I said 3 months, I can't actually remember. I didn't write it down in my notion, so now I've done that. End of June, I would like to be able to play that tune, and so now all I need to do is schedule the practice sessions and not fail at them. So if you don't see me showing up for that, just shout me out and say, how's that tune going? Because that makes me think, there are people out there who want me to succeed. So yeah, if you're listening and you're able to do that, that would be awesome. Right, so success. It's been a good week. It has been a good week. Let me just ponder that a little bit right here. I made a nice video that I enjoyed making on Friday, which was on the back of having gone out for 2 days in a row to the field with my wife and the horses and going for walks. It was good because one of my value goals is to spend more time with my wife, and so when the opportunity came up, and of course I was stuck in my stuff, sitting at my desk like, oh my god, I've got so much stuff to do. I'm really pleased that I was able to say, no, I'm not going to stay at my desk and do my stuff. I'm going to go out in the sunshine because it was beautiful. And I'm going to walk with the horses and my wife, and I'm going to have a lovely time. And that's what happened. So 2 days in a row, the result of which was I ended up standing in a field above Lamlash, looking down towards Cloughlan's, which for those of you who know Arran, you'll know exactly where that is, but for those that don't, for the benefit of the tape, it's between Brodick and Lamlash. The Brodick is in a bay, Lamlash is in a bay, and there's a sticky out bit between the 2 bays. A headland, it might be called. Those of you who study geography will be able to tell me better. And the pathway goes from one bay to the other across the headland, so it's up a hill and then back down. So I was on that field, having crested the hill, starting to come back down, and I was feeling good, so I thought the views behind me are spectacular. I've got Holy Island in the background. I'm going to record a video here and talk about gratitude, so that's what I did. And I came back and I edited it, and I was really pleased with the edit. I started bringing in some B-roll, basically some scenes of the dogs and the views. I brought in some photographs of the mountains. I put some nice music on because I've just signed up to a service called Epidemic Sounds, which has a magical library of music that you can include in your videos, and it was a lot of fun. In fact, it's possibly the most fun I've had with an edit. Turns out editing can be fun, who knew? So I'm pleased with that, and I'm pleased with where I feel like it's taking me with my video making journey into recovery and helping people, because I have a good network of support behind me now, from the Part-Time YouTuber Academy primarily, but it's starting to grow a little bit. I mean, Tiger Eyes is here. She's not a part-time YouTuber. Or maybe she is, but not from the Academy. Tiger Eyes is an author, actually, and I've just reminded myself that I have not looked at her fan fiction, so I need to get on that. So I made a nice video, it felt good. I feel that spending time with my wife is an achievement. It's something I'm I'm really pleased about. I spent the day yesterday just chilling, not freaking out about to-do lists, goals, none of that. It was a beautiful day. I played some guitar outside on the porch. I played an amazing guitar actually, which had been in the case for a few months, one that I bought last year and had forgotten how good it was. So the gratitude for having been in a position to buy that guitar when the chance came around was there. It was definitely there. And then I read my book. I read a fantasy book, so not even business books. And it was just brilliant. I loved it. It was a really, really good day. So I'm very pleased with, I think, having been able to acknowledge the fact that taking time off is something that I need to do, and then actually doing it. So yeah, it was a really nice day. Today's not so sunny, it's not so nice. But I think I'm going to read a bit more today, because why not? I'm also going to schedule my guitar practice. I think I said last Sunday I was going to do it and then didn't. So here I am saying it again. I'm going to schedule guitar practice for tonight. And yeah, I need to because I know it's good for me. I don't know what it is that makes me not do it. It's a strange thing that I just don't understand. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that, practice my guitar tonight and achieve something. There, I'm going to achieve something. So I think I've been able to bring myself around to focusing on the positive things that happened last week. My diet got sorted out. I spent time with my wife. I've been looking after myself with playing guitar for fun, reading fantasy books, and spending less time on Zoom. I think that's a big part of it, because during the YouTube Academy, it was getting a bit much, if I'm honest. The number of hours that were spent on Zoom is draining. I find Zoom calls to be quite draining. And even though I love the fact that I've got over the fear of talking to people I don't know. I've got over the fear of making phone calls, or have I? Is it like a phone call? I think it is. I think it is. The idea of making a phone call a few months ago was like, it would take me days and days to work up to it. In fact, a friend of mine sent me a meme. It was a picture of Rocky training, and it said, introverts planning to make a phone call. And it was all the Rocky scenes, you know, of him. That's kind of what it was like. But now I seem able to just jump on calls with a moment's notice, which is good. So what I'm saying is that the Zoom calls, maybe it's not the calls themselves that are draining, maybe it's just how many of them there were, and the idea of feeling like I need to show up for all the things, because there could be 2 or 3 different calls a day. So yeah, staying off the computer, it's a way of finding myself again. But speaking of Zoom calls, this happened. I had somebody watch a video of mine on my guitar channel. It was a video of my playing a song by Bruce Springsteen called The Ghost of Tom Joad. And somebody saw it, sent me a message and asked for the tabs, which is the sheet music basically. And back when I was teaching guitar as a way of earning money, back when people were able to come and visit me at the house, I was learning how to make tabs using Guitar Pro. I can't even remember the name of the app. But I was getting the hang of it slowly, And then pandemic hit, so my pupils dwindled, and so I never got the hang of making the tabs. So when someone asked on YouTube, in the comments, could you send the tabs to this? I was like, well, I would like to, but no, I'm sorry, I've not really got the hang of doing it, and you know, it's not a paid thing, so it's not something I'm going to devote my time to at the moment. And then he replied and said, well, in that case, would you be up for joining a Zoom call? And if I was to sign up for some lessons, we could do them over Zoom. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So there's a guy called Paul from Canada, and we had our first call yesterday, and I think it went well. In fact, it must have gone well because he's booked another 6 weekly calls. So he must have got some value from it, and I found it to be a really simple way actually of teaching. So what I did was I had this camera here, which I had zoomed back a bit so you could see the guitar, but I had another one here which I could then flick cameras in Zoom that zoomed in on my hands. So I was able to be professional and just click camera 1, camera 2, and it was really good. So I'm really pleased. Here's Sarah. Finally, my work here is done. I'm doing well. Thanks for joining, Sarah. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Easter Sunday. I hope it's a nice day where you are. So yeah, my first ever teaching session on Zoom. It was really good, and I'm keen to carry on working with Paul and to get into this whole new way of teaching. I mean, I have had many lessons myself on Zoom. I've had lessons with Will McNichol. I've had lessons with Brian Sutton. I've had lessons with Marcel, bluegrass guy. I can't remember the name of his channel. So I know that Zoom lessons can work, and I think now, given the current climate, it's a good thing to lean into. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm teaching guitar online. Who knew? And there's Captain Bob. Look at all this. My friends are all showing up. Hey Brad, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you are having a good day. Well, you're going to be behind. So it's the middle of the night, isn't it? Where are we at? 10:30, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. My gosh, you're up early. Was it 4:30? 5:30? Something like that. Mental. So you've got a nice Easter Sunday ahead of you. Are you going biking today? I've been enjoying your biking videos. I still haven't got mine out the shed. I keep threatening to do it. Maybe that could be today. And Sarah, how's the Vida going? I haven't been keeping up with what you're doing, so I think you mentioned live streaming for Vida. Vida, for those that don't know, is video every day in April. And since Captain Bob is on the stream, I'll talk about how I know him, how we met, which was during, was it March 2018, when I discovered the Steam blockchain and DTube, which is a video platform that posts on the blockchain. And if somebody likes your video and they give it a like, you actually earn a fraction of a crypto coin. Now DTube is still around. They no longer use the Steam blockchain. They're still connected to the Hive blockchain. It all gets very complicated, and none of that really matters. If you go to d.tube, you'll see what I'm talking about. So Captain Bob was somebody that I met when I started posting videos on DTube, and that's when I got into vlogging. That my first one was absolutely dreadful, but I've kept it online because I just want to be able to keep it there and show people. If I ever do become successful on YouTube, they can look back and say, all right, his first video was really crap. Maybe it's all right if mine is too. Because, I mean, have you seen MKBHD's early videos when he did his 100th subscriber celebration? It's pretty rubbish, I have to say. So Captain Bob was one of the founders, I think, of the DTube Daily group. It was a group of creators, much like Part-Time YouTuber Academy, but without the academy part. It was just a group of creators who got together and were supporting one another, and it was amazing. We became really good friends very quickly, and we were all posting, I mean, some people every day, some people a few times a week, but the incentive was there because with YouTube there's that massive hurdle to get over of 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time in the last year. That's a difficult thing to get to. On DTube, when the platform itself saw you coming into the platform as a new creator, they would support you by giving your content a like. And at the time when I started, those likes could be worth something like $100. It was insane. So that's where the incentive, I think, came from for a lot of people on those platforms. I'm going to take a sip now. Now, the Steam blockchain, as it was then, ran some conferences every year. They had an annual conference. The first one was in Lisbon. The second one was in Krakow in Poland. And then the next one was in Thailand. So in November 2018, I went to Krakow in Poland to what was called Steamfest. Actually, it was the third one. I can't remember where the others... I know one was Lisbon. I think the second one was Lisbon. So the third one was Krakow. And we rented an Airbnb, which we called D-Daily Mansion. And it was because D-Daily was the group of creators that had formed up around the DTube ecosystem. And we became a bit of a force, actually. It was such an amazing group of people, and it's one of the best trips I've ever made. We all got this big Airbnb. I think there was like 12 of us, and we all hung out for the weekend, going to the conference, going to the workshops. We actually ran a workshop, in fact more than one workshop. We did a few ourselves, and we were doing well. It was such an amazing group of people, such an amazing time. And yeah, that's how I know Brad. So it's good to see him. It's great to have Brad on the stream. We've been friends ever since online. Remember us walking around the square shooting street photography. Yeah. Some of my best ever street photos are from that trip. There's something about being in a new place which helped me to get over the fear of shooting street, because it's quite a scary thing to do. It's a bit like making videos, actually. It's the same kind of psychological leap into the fear, I feel. And, you know, I do it in Glasgow from time to time. I think because that's close to home, it's a little more scary. But yeah, that trip to Poland was just amazing. And so, how did I get here? I got here from Vida, video every day in April. So I went through a phase of making a video every day. It wasn't for Vida or Vlogtober or Vlogmas or any of these buzzwordy hashtag things. It was just because I set myself a challenge, and I started out with 7 days. I was going to make a video every day for 7 days on my phone. I was going to edit on my phone and upload from my phone. And it turned into a month. I think I ended up doing it for a month, and it was a really good exercise on how to edit on phones and all of that. So, and I'm quite pleased with some of the content. You know, it was fun. And now I've got that to look back on as a kind of diary, a journal of what I was up to at that time. So yeah, it was really good. So I would urge any of you who are thinking of doing it, I know there's a bunch of you from Part-Time YouTuber Academy, and it's just a great way of becoming comfortable on camera, of practicing your editing. For me personally, it was important that I made them public, but of course you don't have to do that. You can make them unlisted or share them with the group, whatever. But it's a really good way of getting comfortable on camera. Just like this, actually. Sitting talking to a camera for half an hour on a Sunday morning every week, even when I don't feel like doing it, which, to be honest, this morning I was like, But I've got the consistency going, I've got the streak for these, I think, since the beginning of November. I don't think I've missed a Sunday. Which helps me to get over that. You know, it's a bit like AA meetings. I remember my sponsor, when I started going to AA, my sponsor told me early doors, he said, don't have that tribunal in your head every time there's a meeting, because then you might end up not going, and that's not where you want to be. He said, just think of it as like you're going to work and you have to go. So it worked. I did make myself do that for AA meetings for quite a long time, years in fact, and I seem to be able to do that here with these Sunday streams at least. Yeah. 30 thumbnails. I hear you, Sarah. That is a challenge, to be sure. Thumbnails are probably one of the weakest areas of my video making. So I'm leaning into my photography library and just posting simple pictures from my photography library. Anyway, that's me at 30 minutes, so I better shut up and get off the stream. Before I go though, I did say at the beginning I was going to play you the tune that has become my theme tune for my podcasts. It's a tune that I wrote, I think it was 2005. It's called May the 4th Be With You. Because I wrote it for my wife and that's her birthday. Don't be creepy. So the theme tune goes like that. So that's the end. So the whole thing, that's the intro. There we go. May the 4th be with you. Happy Easter, everybody. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.